Hi everybody, thanks for joining me for another tutorial in Melinda's Rubber Room. I'm Melinda Pierce and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today to show you how to make this fun fold out card. So it kind of starts as an M based card. I don't know if you can see an M or a W, but it's actually quite easy to make, and I'll just walk you through all the steps. Okay, so we are going to start with a piece of cardstock that measures 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored in half at 4 1/4. So I'm just going to fold that in half. I'm going to use my bone folder to reinforce that fold. And then I'm just going to take one side and fold it back on itself to that center fold line. Just like so. So you should have a piece that looks like that. It's kind of half of your, or 3/4 of your M piece. And then we have another piece of cardstock, and this measures 4.5 by 5.5, and it is scored at a 1/2 inch. I'm sorry, 1/4 inch. So you'll end up with a piece of cardstock that measures 5.5 by 4 1/4. So I'm just going to fold back on that little tab. So again, this measured 4.5 by 5.5, and we scored it at a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is just put some glue right along this edge here. I'm just going to fold this back open just so I can access that little tab. And we're going to glue it to the back side of this fold, or this edge here. So I'm just going to lay this flat and lay this flat next to it so that fold line is right at the edge, matching up my top and bottom. Going back to the inside, I can see that my back sheet of my cardstock, this small one here, is not quite the same height as my other one. So I'm just going to put that in my cutter real quick and fix that up. Okay, so now we have everything lined up, and this folds together just like so. So you have a nice M shaped base, or a W, depending on how you're looking at it. I'm just going to take my bone folder and go right back in and straighten out all my score lines. All right, so now our base looks like this, and we have some Designer Series paper. The Designer Series paper I'm using today is from the Irresistible Blooms. This is the Hello Irresistible Designer Series paper. Beautiful, beautiful paper. This is on the online store only, exclusives. So you can go to my online store at melindapierce.stampinup.net and see all that beautiful paper. It also has coordinating dies that cut out the images, which is what I have done here. I'm going to use those for my decorations later. But this is one of the sheets of the Designer Series paper, and this is the opposite side. So I'm actually using both sides. This first one is going to go on the outside of my card. I'm just going to go ahead and attach that to the front. The front piece of Designer Series paper measures 5 1/4 by 4. You'll actually need 2 sheets of that same measurement because one's going to go on the inside as well. So on the inside, I'm going to use the opposite side of that Designer Series paper. I just want it to look a little bit more neutral inside. So again, that piece measures 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, and now we have these 2 smaller sections here, and I have Designer Series paper cut for that as well. Here, I'm going to mix up the Designer Series paper just a little bit. I'm going to use that side. And these pieces measure 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach those. What's nice about these Designer Series paper packs is they all coordinate with each other. So all the papers, you can kind of mix and match them, which is really fun, and you get some great different designs that way with your cards. And you don't need a whole lot of different color card bases because they all kind of play with each other. So the colors that coordinate with the Designer Series paper, there's a sheet at the back of the cardstock, and also it's noted in the catalog which colors coordinate with them. So it makes it super easy to make nice projects with that Designer Series paper. Okay, so there is those inside pieces. Now I have my piece that's going to go on the inside here. This is where my greeting's going to go. So this again measures 5 1/4 by 4, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that first so that I can go ahead and mount that to the inside of my card. So the base of my card is Pretty Peacock, so I'm going to stamp with Pretty Peacock ink. So again, everything coordinates. It's one of the things I love about Stampin' Up! Is their coordination. Just going to go ahead and stamp that greeting. And not sure if that is straight. Looks okay. And then I have a couple pieces of Designer Series paper that I'm going to, I think I'll just put one right there. And that just kind of brings in the design from the other side of my card. I'll just put that down there, and then I can go ahead and mount that to the inside of my card. Just like so. Put my ink pad away so I don't mess that up. Okay, so now I have these 2 rectangle pieces, and these measure, the base cardstock measures 1 1/2 inches by 4. So that's 1 1/2 by 4 inches. And then my Designer Series paper, which I've already put on there, is 1 1/4 by 3 3/4. So you want to just attach that to the base of your card. And then what we're going to do is attach one side to this panel and one side to this panel. Doesn't really matter which one you place where. So I'm just going to go ahead and place the bottom one to the right hand side of my panel, and I'm just lining it up. You can line it up with your Designer Series paper. That works fine, or you can go closer to your score line. That works fine too. You just don't want to be right on top of that score line because you want to be able to close your card. Okay, so now I'm going to glue this one. And you want to make sure that you're only putting glue on one side of that tab. You're not putting it all the way over. And you want to make sure that it's only covering up to the score line. If you go past that score line, you're going to be gluing your card open all the way, and you don't want that. Okay, so there is the base of our card. Super simple, and so much going on there. It's really fun. Okay, so we also have a couple pieces of Designer Series paper that's going to go on these little sections here. Okay, so these 2 pieces are just going to go right in there. That we're covering up that cardstock. And one goes on this side. Okay, so there is the inside all decorated. And now we just go on to decorate the outside. So I'm making this a birthday card. So I'm putting the happy birthday right down here. I think I'm going to go ahead and raise that up on dimensionals. So I have my mini dimensionals and my take a pick tool. And I'm just going to slide these dimensionals off. These have a protective paper on the top side. So so it has adhesive on both sides, and then to reveal that adhesive on the back side, you're just going to take off those little protective pieces. All right. And then this I'm just going to place right down here towards the bottom. And then I'm going to go through all of my die cuts that I did earlier. So again, this is all from the Hello Irresistible Designer Series paper. And I'm just going to pick a couple, maybe 3 flowers. Just going to put those on like that, maybe. That looks pretty. And then I'm going to add some extra greenery. I think I want to go a little darker with that. We'll go with those. Okay, so I'm going to put this one down first. I'll raise this on dimensionals. Put that right on top, and I think I'll sneak that one right down on the bottom too. So Stampin' Up! Is having a great sale right now. It's called Celebration. And with every $50 purchase, you get to pick some freebies that are exclusive to Celebration. You can check out that on my online store at melindapierce.stampinup.net. It's a great time to pick up some of your normal supplies and some extra goodies if you want. Celebration items are really nice. They have some gorgeous Designer Series paper and stamps, and there's an embossing folder in there. So make sure you check it out. Don't miss out on some freebies there. Okay, so there's that. And I think I'm going to add some little bling to this as well. And go to my embellishments and just kind of push those off of there. And just randomly place this on my card. Just like so. So I have a little bit of shimmer on the top of that card. And then I'm going to open this up, and I'm actually going to add some extra flowers to these panels, just to bring that design from the front to the inside. Okay, I think I want to add something on this side, so when that card is partially open, you don't see that other flower sticking up. Just like so. Let's see, what else? Maybe we can add another flower here and some leaves, maybe. Like so. All right, and there is that finished card. So not too difficult to make, but a little bit different than your standard card opening. So I hope you enjoyed that and learned something new. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook page at Melinda's Rubber Room. Be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Feel free to join me on my Wednesday Zoom classes. Those are free, and they are from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Pacific time. All the information is on my Facebook page at Melinda's Rubber Room. This is one of the cards that we did last week. So I do the Zoom call first, and then I follow up with the tutorial as well. All right. Again, hope you have a great day, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye-bye.